Hey everyone, Rayo here, and today I'm bringing you my account tour for, or account tours for 2021. So, I just want to start off by saying that this year turned out to be completely different than I thought it was going to be. I started streaming, I started an alt account, and so a lot of the goals, I didn't really set myself a whole lot of goals, but the majority of the goals that I set for myself last year, I didn't actually end up doing because things just turned out to be something completely different, and it turned out to be like super awesome. So we're just going to catch up on that. Starting off with the main account, which not a lot has changed with the main account, and then we'll go into my alt account, which is the Tyrion Lightbringer for those of you who have been following me on Twitch. So starting off with last year's goals. Last year's goals were to max out the Hall of Monuments on Guild Wars 1 to get the Guam title, which I did not do. I maybe got like one extra point. Become proficient enough in raids to train them and make video guides. Did not do. I barely even touched raids. What's new about that? I mean, I did a little bit. I've done, like, I was able to like complete a majority of the instances, which is actually pretty cool. Like, I got my first Doom kill this past year, which is awesome, but I still haven't gotten like one or two clears on like I think it's Soulless Horror and Kadim 1. I think those are the only two ones I haven't done, just because I haven't really made time for it. So anyway, moving into the other goals, keep Mistlocked active and healthy. That was like the primary thing this past year, and that is what we did. But not just me, like the help of everyone in Mistlocked, officers, trainers, instructors, whatever. Everyone helped to keep that alive, especially on the EU side. EU side really came together and made things happen and kept things very, very, very active. So props to everybody in Mistlocked. Then the extra goals were to work on a themed guild hall. Did not happen. And get Fractal God on the alt account in EU. So that is probably one of the biggest things that changed right away. I didn't even bother really playing on my EU account at all. Because I started a new account because I started streaming and I had an alt account just kind of chilling idle for a long time. And I was like, why don't I just start streaming and start a new account from scratch? Because I have an account just chilling, and then I can just progress through all these different end game goals that a lot of people strive for, like Fractal God, raid titles, blah, 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 blah. And I just started doing that. And that's actually what a majority of this past year consisted of, is just streaming and doing that. So let's go ahead and just get on into overlooking the account. There have been a couple accomplishments on the main account, but like I said, I haven't really been focusing a lot on the main account because I've gotten everything done on it that I to get done on it. So first thing would be to, I mean, I don't really need to log on to this guy to say it, but this is my chef character, and I ended up getting max chef on him. So yippee, that's awesome. And then we'll kind of go over just a couple of the, I guess, notable achievements on this account. I don't remember if I had this last year. I don't think I did. I may have. Actually, I think I did. But because I'm already talking about it, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Top 250 PvP is probably one of my most proud achievements on this account. For those of you who are like PvP prodigies, you're probably like, oh, okay, whatever. But that's a big achievement for me, man. I am very, very, very proud of this title. I wear it with pride all the time. So the other notable achievements is really something that's recent with Sunka Peak that came out, and that is the CM title for that, and just being able to complete the CM title for that. Dances with Demons, where's that at? Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Dances with Demons. So that's a pretty notable achievement. And then actually, to kind of go in with one of the goals from last year of keeping Mistlocked active and healthy, some of the things that we did this year is we expanded into a second NA guild because we were just expanding that much. So we have a second Mistlocked in NA. So we have a total of 3 Mistlocks now. We have 1 guild in EU, 2 in NA, and then I just have a name holder for our second EU guild if we ever hit that amount, which it looks like we're getting pretty darn close to that. So Mistlocked has definitely thrived this past year, which is pretty darn awesome, as that was the primary goal this past year. So we made that happen with the help of everybody in Mistlocked. Aside from that, I guess like some item achievements would be like a couple more shared inventory slots, and then this Armistice Bastion pass. This is a new one, which is pretty darn cool, from two of my very good buddies that play the game, Lucerius and Dodgy. Props to you guys. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, other than that, and also this World Boss Portal device, that was a gift from them as well. These guys are awesome. They've supported me from day one of Mistlocked. Ever since I started the guild, they joined in like right away and are 100% supporters on day one, so they definitely deserve a shout out. But yeah, there's not really anything else to go to on this account. I haven't made any new characters. I haven't made any other big notable achievements. I've just been kind of like keeping relevant with the content on this account. So we're going to hop on over to the alt account, the Tyrian Lightbringer, and I will see you guys in just a second. All right, and here we are on the alt account. This is Inspector Rayo, the Tyrian Lightbringer. If any of you have been following me on Twitch or any of the YouTube videos I put out earlier this year, then you will know who this guy is. This is the Yeet Master, the Yeet King. This is the Inspector. There's, I guess, a lot of different titles that we have for this guy. The Wearer of Mustard Socks. So this is the man, the myth, the legend, Inspector Rayo. So quick little background with this guy is I started streaming and I wanted to put together a new Zero to Hero series similar to what I did that kind of like kickstarted Mistlocked and kind of kickstarted my YouTube channel, which was like the 0 to 150 AR series from like a boosted account, or like a level 80 boosted account. This time I wanted to take it a step further and start all the way from level 1, level all the way up to level 80 organically, and then like do map completion, get legendary in every slot, fractal guy, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I haven't done all that. I've done progress towards that. I mean, this is the most map completion I have on any of the, well, you can't see it because my camera's over it, but 73% map completion is the most I have on this account, on this guy. I've done a little bit of achievements here, but the other goal with this was to play a character that I was not familiar with, which was Engineer. And I've gotten very experienced with Engineer, like definitely not a prodigy or anything like that, but I definitely know how to play it a lot better than I originally did. So story with this guy is he is the Tyrian Lightbringer. So he is Tybalt's apprentice, and then, you know, as we all know the story of Tybalt. I said Tybalt, I'm pretty sure. But he is a member of the Order of Whispers. He's a Lightbringer in the Order of Whispers. Tybalt's apprentice, continuing on his memory, and he is an engineer just like Tybalt, and he is now going to be the Commander of Tyria. Same old story as it is pretty much for every single character. So that was kind of just like the lore behind it. It's not like the strongest story, but it's just something I thought was kind of cool. And there's a couple little like references, like, I don't know, there's a couple little references here and there that's kind of fun to do on stream or whatever. But we've had fun with this guy. So I'll get more into this guy in a second, but he's also gotten, I've kind of like, with my streaming community and all that stuff, we've kind of decided to do a couple little, like, expand on the team, or like I wanted to expand on the team and everyone was like, okay, cool, let's do it. So we have his teammates, his crew, his Inspectigator crew. That's a word I made up. We have Confidant Iro and we have Constable Ida. And so there's not really any major lore behind these guys, but it's just like a way of, like, the lore behind it is just Inspector Rayo has his investigation team, or whatever you want to call it, and we have an Elementalist, Constable Ida, and then a Warrior who is Confidant Iro. So Warrior, he is a part of the Vigil, Elementalist is a part of the Priory, and the reason why I chose Warrior and Elementalist is because, one, I wanted to choose one class from each weight, like armor weight class, that I was the least experienced with. The two classes that I was really the least experienced with were Engineer and Elementalist. I rarely play those on my main account. Now I play Engineer like all the time when I can because I really like it. And then Elementalist, I'm still not very experienced with. I really don't play it at all. Warrior, I mean, I know how to play banners and like fractals and raids and stuff like that. That's the extent of it. I don't really mess on Condi at all. Like, I'm not completely inexperienced with Warrior, and I've played it in PvP a little bit, so it's just out of the 3 heavyweight armor classes, I play Guardian all the time. I play Revenant all the time. Warrior, it's not my favorite class to play, so I just chose Warrior because I didn't want to like dupe up on any other weight classes. We do have a level 80 Mirage. I just used this guy for farming the Mad King's Labyrinth during Halloween because Double Greatsword Mirage is an awesome tagger. So that's why we did that. And we have a level 2 Guardian named Goody Giver because we do giveaways on stream every once in a while. And this is the man. This is the man that sends out the goodies. He looks like a beast. He looks kind of creepy, but he is just a big giant teddy bear. So let's get into the characters and kind of going over the different characters and what they got going on with them. All right. So some of the big things with this guy is I wanted to work on getting like legendary in every single slot, unlocking literally everything. And just to give a quick overview on like how the series worked, because pretty much all the progress on this account stems from how the series worked, because I played this account specifically for a series. I didn't really play it otherwise. I mean, I played it for fun, but the main goal is progressing the series, not necessarily to enjoy it myself, although I have. Basically, the whole entire goal here with the series was to I divided it up into different seasons. So season 1 was the leveling season, and each season has its own main goals. Season 1 was about getting from 1 to 80, completing all the story missions and unlocking all the mounts, which I've done. And I had to do it in order, so I couldn't like start in Path to Fire, get a mount, and then go do all the Tyrion story. I had to start at level 1 and go through all the Tyrion story. Then I had to do Living World Season 2. Then I did Heart of Thorns, and I unlocked Gliding, and I unlocked Scrapper and all that stuff. And then I did Living World Season 3, and then I did Path to Fire, Living World Season 4, Icebird Saga. And I couldn't do any of the content from the expansions until I actually reached that content. So Corteria, I was running everywhere. And so that's where the yeets kind of came from, which if you've been following the series, then you'll know that these rocket boots are what I use to yeet. So a yeet is something that stemmed from me. I was doing a hero point and Lornar's Pass, and I was right next to a ledge, and I fat fingered my R key, and I just kind of fell off the edge, and I died. So then we made, and that was on the stream. So then we just made it a reward redemption. So whenever someone saves up enough points, I just got to do a yeet, and we even have a designated yeet outfit. I mean, look at it in all its splendor. This is actually going to be my Condi engineer. But until then, it's just my yeet outfit. I'm looking as close as I can to Ronald McDonald. And I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, just kidding. I transmuted it. But that's pretty much it. That's kind of the story behind the yeets. So I did level 1 to 80. I did all the story. I unlocked all the mounts, and I have the sky scale, as you can see right here. And that's kind of the story there. So once I got all that content unlocked, I moved on into season 2, which is the Fractal season, which I'm still in technically. So Fractal season, the goal here was to complete Ad Infinitum. Originally, it was to get one of the legendary pieces, like a Flameseeker Prophecies, but I changed that goal to gearing a secondary character for Fractals and getting them kitted up to do like tier 4 Fractals with 150 AR and all that stuff. So, and then get personal fractal level 100, unlock the CM titles, which I've done all that stuff. I've done the CM titles. I've been doing CMs on this account quite a bit. Pretty much every single time I do fractals, I do CMs and such. So, but I don't, like, I was working on my Banner Warrior for CMs. That was going to be my secondary character. That way I could, like, I've done all the content in fractals on this account, so I wanted to ideally keep the series focused on this guy as much as possible. But I think I was starting to mention this earlier with like the whole point of having the team and the different characters. Another reason for having a different team is because when I got to Raids, which is season 3, Raids, it's kind of hard to find a group on the LFG, especially in NA, just in general. It's a lot like more organized on Discord from what I understand. I don't pug raids really ever, so I don't have like the most experience with that. But being flexible, I mean, this is true in fractals, this is true in raids. The more flexible you are, the more chance you are, the higher chance of getting a group there is. I said that in a very weird way, but you can kind of get, you know what I'm saying. So that was the other reason for gearing some other characters or getting some other level 80 characters. And so before I moved on to the season 3, I wanted to make one of the goals a gearing up a second character, which is my warrior. So we'll get to him in a second. But to kind of just catch up on this, fully kitted out, I have like every slot filled up. I'm missing the amulet because it's on my Mesmer from farming Halloween. I haven't played this. I haven't really played a whole lot lately. So, I mean, I haven't really put the account or the amulet back yet. But when it comes to like achievements, I've done quite a bit of achievements this year. I'm almost at 7,000 achievement points. And I've really just been doing like, I haven't done any raids because I haven't hit that point on this account yet. But I've done virtually, like these are the only fractal achievements I have left. I've done all of Nightmare, I've done all of Shattered, and I'm missing one, or excuse me, 2 notes from Sunken Peak. So I'm almost done with those. So I have to finish all these fractal achievements. I have to finish gearing the secondary character, and then finish Ad Infinitum, which Ad Infinitum, I believe I am on the tier 4 collection. Let me see. Yes, I am on the tier 4 collection. So all these things kind of at once. Once I finish these, then I move on into the 3rd season, which is raids. So aside from that, a lot of the achievements that I've gotten is really just like daily achievements and stuff I've gotten from map completion, doing stories. Like it's all just nothing I've gone out of the way to do. So it's not like anything. I've not completed any special achievements like the Nightwing or anything super notable. It's just I've done what I can to get mastery points to max out as many masteries as I can. So I've maxed all my Tyrion masteries. I still need to max out my Heart of Thorns masteries. I just need 2 more Itzel, Exalted, and Newhawk. And as you can see, I'm capped out on experience in Itzel and Newhawk, and I'm working on Exalted, and I just have no mastery points. At the Fire, I need to finish the Skimmer mount. I believe I've done the story here. Like I've done, or I may not have done the collection here, so I still need to do that. Sky Scale, still 2 more masteries to do. And then Icebird Saga, quite a bit left. I haven't even started the champion story on this account yet. Like I said, I haven't really been playing a whole lot recently. But that is pretty much the Inspector. So we'll just kind of browse real quick on the Warrior and the Ellie. There's not really much notable here, but I can kind of give you a gist of what I was going for with these guys, or what I am going for. So the Warrior is currently, I'm saving up all my like insignias and stuff that I get from fractals to like help level his crafting. So on my I forgot to mention this on the Inspector, but he has max leatherworking and what I think it's Huntsman. Yeah, Huntsman. Now on my Warrior, I have max weaponsmith, and armorsmith is the next thing that I'm working on. So I am crafting, like also another thing I forgot to mention with the series is that I can't take any handouts and stuff, which people like to give stuff to streamers and stuff. Anytime that would happen, I would like, there's been a couple things like I got a bag slot. I put it on an alt character that is not my main character. Stuff like that I can't gift back, but anytime it was something tradable, I either like if the person gave it to me and wanted me to keep it, then I put it on my main account. And if they were cool with me doing whatever I wanted with it, then I would do it in a giveaway. So all the stuff on this account is stuff that I've earned, and I can't use any money to get anything. So like this extra shared inventory slot and the copper-fed Salvomatic, this is from converting gold to gems. So this is all progress that I've made organically, like just by myself. For the most part, there's been a couple exceptions, but really not as much, like not a whole lot. But anyway, so the progress on this character is we have all but the body ascended, and I think we're missing one. Yeah, well, I have an offhand mace here. And so we're just missing 1 axe and 1 mace. Really, I just need at least 1 axe. I'll be fine. But every other slot here, I'm missing accessory, a ring, and the amulet. Now, for the people who are min-max fractals people, whatever, yes, I'm gearing Zerkers because it is a lot easier to get. Assassins, eventually, sure. I'm just trying to get to a point where I can just like start on this guy. Ideally, I would want a couple assassin pieces. If I ever get a stat selectable piece, I'll probably choose assassins. But until then, I'm just going to be going with Zerkers because that's like easily crafted. Anyway, so that is the progress on this guy. I'm just missing the amulet's not really needed because that can't even slot AR. I just need an accessory, a ring, 1 more axe, and the chest plate, and then I am done with this character after I get the 150. Let's see. So that is really the warrior. Now let's move on to Ida, the elementalist. What I'm doing with her is I'm just trying to gear out in Harrier's gear. Just Harriers or Magi's, whatever the raid build is. I started with Harriers, but then I was told Magi's is the better place to go. But I only have 2 ascended pieces of Harriers anyway, so it's an easy swap. This person is basically just freshly boosted, and then the only crafting discipline I have working on here is Artificer, and that is to get even statted infusions for the sake of like collections and such. Because another thing that I was doing here is I wasn't buying any of my agony infusions. My agony infusions were all earned. I'm not buying +1s off the trading post. It's all through fractals, so I'm not spending any money on that. Especially because I have to save my money to like go into crafting gear and like buying materials to craft gear and all that stuff. So yes, I'm buying materials because you need an absurd amount of materials to craft just a single item. But as you can see, I did a lot of super adventure box as well. I completed all the King Toads collection, which gave me this, which is awesome, this Kaiser staff, which is really cool. It gave me a really cool infusion as well. But yeah, not really a whole lot notable on this character right here. Just kind of chilling, condensing some infusions, and that's about it. This is like least priority right now because I chose Elementalist not as a DPS. If I'm going to run a DPS class, I'm going to use my Engineer. If I were to run a healer class, I would like to use a Heal Scrapper, but I want to like Heal Scrapper's 5-man, and I think really just kind of shines in Condi cleanses. Ideally, I would like to just keep things as much on the Engineer as possible, so I chose Elementalist. Like if we need a 10-man healer and for some reason we're chilling in the LFG for like 30, 45 minutes, and all we need is a 10-man healer and we don't really care what class it is, that's why I made the Elementalist. That's why I chose this. It's obviously for raids because I'm speaking 10-man. So I don't want the alt characters that I make to take away so much from my main character, which is Inspector Rayo. So that's pretty much all I got going on with this guy. Don't really need to go on the Mirage. Literally, like I said, I've only used him for farming Mad King's Lab. So the other thing with Inspector Rayo that I forgot to mention, it's not really like the biggest deal, but I also started, because I said I wanted to maybe like gear a Heal Scrapper, is any sort of like ascended chests and stuff. I started gearing a Heal Scrapper. So, or I started gearing a Heal Scrapper and a Condi Scrapper. That's what I started doing. So I have a 3rd equipment template, which, as I mentioned earlier, this is all gold to gems. This is not your money. So for my Heal Scrapper set, I have, it looks like, I guess 4 ascended pieces, 1 exotic piece. Like this would just really be for raids. This can just be exotic because you don't need to slot AR into this. Condi Scrapper, I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 4. Missing 4 pieces of ascended gear, and then all of the trinkets and the back piece, except for the rings. These rings I originally used for berserkers, and then I infused them because I ended up getting like the base berserkers rings, and I just made these Condi. Yeah, he's doing pretty well. This, like I said, would also be used for raids, maybe for 100 CM if I got it to that point. It's not a priority though. I've been doing like it's not like the best, but I mean doing power hollow on 100 cm has been working just fine. Like I've been doing decent enough to get the completion. I'm not super pressed to get a whole nother like gear set here just for one when this works plenty fine for me. All right, so one thing I forgot to mention with the inspector, and I guess this is really the account in general, but I mentioned earlier that one of the goals was the Fractal God title track, but I didn't mention my progress on that. So one of my like I'm doing pretty well on the progress there. I just need to get Agony Impedance. I think it's Impedance. I'm not too sure. I just need to get Agony Impedance 2, and then I can start saving up for Mist Attunement. Obviously, I'm way away from that, but I have 2 +11s. I just need 2 more +11s, and then I can get... Actually, I just technically need 1 more +11 because I have 4 +9s right here. I never showed the bank here either, so that's another thing I could show real quick. 2 bank slots, second bank slot, gold to gems. I try and keep it as organized as possible. As you can see, I have a couple of unopened things here that I should open. I have a couple of these invitation things that I'm working on collecting at the moment. But yeah, oh yeah, Shimmering Aurora Shield skin. I think it's because we got a free ticket recently. Let's just see what this looks like. Looks sick. I actually really like that. Not really a fan of like spacey things too much. Like it's not my favorite. I think it's cool. But that one I think is very cool. I like more just like, I guess, earthy things or like basic things, like just plain things. Normal. As you can see, I got a t-shirt, pants, and boots on. Like that's kind of my style that I go for in games and stuff. Anyways, off topic. But yeah, this is kind of what I got going right now. I have a few salvage kits, which is awesome. I just need 1 more +11 to get that, what's it called? The Agony Impedance or Impedance. Material storage is looking pretty chunky. I don't really sell a lot of my materials. I try and use as much of my own materials as possible. Like whenever I get not +5, whenever I get tier 5s, I try and promote them into tier 6s. That's why I have so many of these tier 6s. I have a Gift of Might and a Gift of Magic. I'm working on a legendary in the background, which I'm working on ad infinitum, so I'll need that for that. But I'm also working on legendary in every slot. I don't have a single legendary yet, so obviously I have a lot to do there. Yeah, material storage just looking pretty healthy, I would say. I don't like to liquidate my material storage, especially because there's that trading post fee of 10 to 15%, depending on whether you list or instant sell. So I like to keep all my materials, use them as much as possible, promote them as much as possible, and use all the material. Like even if it doesn't, I guess, financially make sense, I like to just use all the materials that I have. So that is pretty much the entire account tour. Is a lot shorter this year because I didn't go into like character stories really. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I mentioned earlier, and I've been kind of saying it all throughout the video, but this past year really took a big change because I started streaming, and I started with this character. This character was like born out of a Twitch stream. So streaming I ended up taking very seriously, and that's where I've been honestly camping a lot of my content. I've been doing like YouTube guides here and there, but I've been really doing a lot with streaming. So I guess if I were to wrap up this video and say my goals for 2021, I'm also going to be a little bit lenient on these goals this year as well, because I have no idea what this year is going to bring. A lot of things have changed for me this year. So kind of before I mention my goals, I mean, this year I got engaged. I'm going to be getting married. So that's pretty flippin' awesome. Very excited about that. But my goals this year would be to incorporate streaming into like a regular schedule again. I was going really strong for a while, but I recently started a daytime job, and I'm kind of trying to figure out a way to incorporate more content creation alongside that day job while also not sacrificing time with my fiance, just time in general. So trying to have a nice work-life game balance, which is kind of tough. I've also relieved my my leadership duties of Mistlocked. Like I'm still in Discord and all that stuff, but I'm not the active leader right now. I stepped down from that to focus more on progressing my life and focusing more on time with my fiance, focusing on building up finances, being able to pay for rent, and then also being able to like save for house and all that stuff. So my goals this year would be content creation wise to get more to like figuring out a way to make it like regular but not take away from anything. And so I think I'm going to start off with going back onto YouTube for that and just uploading maybe like once a week or something like that. So that's going to be the primary goal this year. The secondary goal, if I were to get regularly into content creation, like say I just get like a new wind and I'm just super duper motivated, I guess, and can stream and like things just like work out in a way I didn't think they were going to work out, then it would be to finish the Tyrion Light. As of right now, I think I'm going to take away like the whole seasons and like the structure of the series because as you can tell, if any of you have been following it, I've stopped with the YouTube uploads. The videos take a really long time and it just, for the way that Guild Wars 2 functions, it's just me doing the same exact thing once a day. Like every stream is pretty much the same. Every video is virtually the same. It just would make sense to do like there wasn't really much changing at some point. Like, you know, at the beginning I was getting AR really quick and all that stuff, but then for the rest of the season, it's just me doing CMs and tier 4s until I can afford to gear out my second character and then get ad infinitum and finish the fractal achievements. But literally the content that I would be doing to get that is the same every single day. So that's not really exciting. So that's why I stopped uploading. There's not really anything new to make content of. So I'm going to probably keep it to a Twitch stream account. I think that's what I'm going to do. It's not how I planned it originally in like the intro video to the whole series, but that's just going to be how it is for right now because there's not really any variation. There's nothing really different or exciting about it. So it's just going to be a Twitch only series now, I think. But yeah, would be to finish the account, but I would say get Fractal God. Fractal God's probably like one of the big achievements for this account that I want to knock out. And so I'm actually going to leave it at that. My main account, there's not really anything else I care to do on that guy. I mean, maybe do some raids, complete all the raids, do some achievements here and there, but I'm not too pressed to do that. I'd rather work on the alt account. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got, guys. Just getting back into like regular content creation, making fractal guides and all that stuff for all the different roles that I play in fractals, starting with finishing off the Heal Brand series that I'm doing. So I'll put the link to that in the video description if you want to check out the progress on that. But yeah, that is where I stand. I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you guys would like to follow me over on Twitch, the link is also in the video description. And if you would like to get Guild Wars 2 to start working on your account to get ready for End of Dragons, which I am very, very excited about, that's going to be a sick expansion, then you can find links in the video description to either play for free or to buy the Guild Wars 2 expansions. And if you were to buy one Guild Wars 2 expansion, you get the other one for free. But just a quick note, that does not include the Living World seasons, so you'd have to buy those separately. Just wanted to put that out there. Anyways, guys, I'm babbling on. Thank you so much for watching. I am Rayo, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.